May I come in, sir?
आइए please.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sirs.
Good evening. Abhishek,
Yes.
बैठिए please.
Thank you, sir.
Father and mother both are working?
No, sir. Father is retired and mother is also retired in a sense.
Retired?
I mean, she is involved in agricultural activities, not directly but indirectly.
Okay, वो income लिखी है ना उनकी, इसलिए मैं पूछ रहा था.
Yes, sir.
Integrated master's degree in mathematics and computing. But you opted for social sciences
Yes, sir.
as optional subject in, huh?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Sir, when I was in college, I was trying to see which subjects are there in the UPSC list, and then I found out that the sociology subject has matter related to all the aspects which are there in the society, be it caste, kinship system, family system. So in that regard, it interested me, and then I took the sociology as optional.
Okay. Initially, why did you take mathematics then?
Sir, I took mathematics and computing branch because at that moment, computer science was intriguing to me. So it has a lot of interest. In that regard, I took the mathematics and computing branch.
Any other reason for choosing sociology as optional subject for mains?
Sir, sociology has lot of resource available right now, and many of my seniors from college also took sociology. So that also inspired me to take sociology.
So you mean to say that sociology is a easier subject and a scoring subject in civil services than mathematics and computing? Mathematics must be a subject, of course computing may not be.
Sir, there are a lot of subjects in available as optional in UPSC, and I believe that all the optional subjects are having good success ratio, and it's mostly my decision was based on the interest which was inclined towards the sociology that made me to take sociology as the optional.
Why did you take then mathematics in your post graduation?
Sir, in the post graduation, there was allotment of subjects, and my inclination at that moment was towards computer science, and there is no computer science as there is no availability of optional subject of computer science in the UPSC, so that's why I took sociology.
In your choice of services, you have written income tax as at number 4 and customs as number 3. Generally, people keep income tax as number above than in customs. What is your reason of?
Sir, my selection of different choices was based on the rational decision which I took when I talked to the service preferences from my seniors who are there in the service, or they are related to some other service, but they gave me choices that you can choose these kind of service order to opt in the services.
So it was based on the advice of the seniors, not your own analysis.
Sir, I took the liberty
or
to
interest.
Sir, my interest was also involved there, but since they are already having experience of those services, so they guided me that you can opt for this particular order, and then I took the decision to take the.
So that is what I am asking. Why you chose that? Customs above income tax.
Sir, customs above income tax was mostly from whatever experience I gathered from my seniors. I took the decision based on that basis.
What was that experience? What did that experience tell? Reason for that experience.
Yes, sir. Sir, the reasons were, they said GST is right now getting implemented and it's in nascent stage, although the revenues are high, but there are little difficulty in understanding the implications. So they told me that you can opt for the other service and income tax below that. So in that regard, I took the preference.
Police at number 2, IPS, and foreign service at number 5. Why?
Sir, I believe that all the services are equally important, but I wanted to work in India only, and my expertise, and I wanted to have more on-ground experience as compared to taking diplomatic route to become IFS. That's why I took services which are based in India.
Endurance running, one of the interests. Why?
Sir, endurance running is one of my hobbies because it pushes my limits. So, endurance running is a form of running in which you have to run minimum of 3 kilometers and maximum to whatever extent you can go. So, when I initially started, I was not able to run even 1 kilometer. But when I decided that I will run every day, then initially, although I started running with only 1 kilometer, but later on I went to run even 10 kilometers. So in that regard, it has pushed my limits and helped me improve as a person.
So, improved as a person.
Yes.
What is the change in the personality?
Sir, the changes
by running 10 kilometers.
Sir, the changes which I have brought about after running are, so now I can take more challenges as compared to earlier. Mentally, I am more prepared as compared to what I was before. So in that regard, there are many changes which have come.
Okay. Have you heard the name of PFI? PFI.
Sir, I'm not aware of right now.
Popular Front of India.
Okay.
You have not heard?
Sir, I'm not sure about it.
Okay. SIMI?
Yes, sir. SIMI I have heard.
What is that?
It is one of the terrorist organizations which are present in India. And under UAPA, it is given the tag that it is a terrorist organization.
Okay. How many states and UTs are there in India?
Sir, currently there are 29 states and 7 UTs.
28.
Sir,
28.
So
or 29.
So 20. I said 29 states and 7 UTs.
28.
Okay, sir. I'm sorry.
And UTs?
So 7 UTs.
What are those?
Sir, the 7 UTs which are there in India are Ladakh is there, Jammu Kashmir, and
2.
Sir?
2 ho gaye.
Yes, sir. And then Lakshadweep is there, Dadra Nagar Haveli is there, Daman and Diu is there.
So Daman, Diu, Dadra Nagar Haveli 1 or 2? These are clubbed.
Sir, they have been recently merged.
Then?
Sir, and sir, I'm not able to recall other names right now.
Okay.
Abhishek, have you heard of Max Weber?
Yes, sir.
What is his contribution to sociology?
Sir, Max Weber is considered to be the pioneer in introducing interpretivist approach to the sociology. So this approach implies that to study any subject matter, we need to consider the objective reality of any particular subjective matter. So he introduced this particular form of study in sociology, and it has expanded the horizon of the sociology.
Have you read any book of M.N. Srinivas? Have you read anything?
Sir, I'm able to recall Caste and Race in India.
Now, if I talk about, let's say, Sanskritization.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Sir, Sanskritization is a process in which a lowerly placed social group tries to imitate a highly placed social group in the society, and the highly placed are generally called as dominant caste in India. So, for example, Vokalingas, Jats, Gurjars, and Patels are considered to be dominant caste in India, and they have tried to imitate the upper caste or upper groups in the society, and in that sense, they have gained social, political, and economic opportunities and helped them, which has helped them in elevating themselves.
Okay. One question on the Indian Constitution. What are the differences between directive principles of state policy and fundamental rights?
Sir, one of the major difference between directive principles of state policy and fundamental rights are that fundamental rights are given to citizens as form of right, and directive principles are the kind of obligation to the state which is not legally binding, but there is certain form of obligation towards the state.
Just give one example, like directive principle of state policy and fundamental right.
Sir, one example of directive principles could be Article 47, which says that state should promote that there should not be use of intoxicated drinks and other unhealthy substances for the individuals. And with respect to fundamental rights, so Article 15 is there, which says that there shouldn't be any discrimination based on caste, race, sex, and gender.
Okay, one more question, I think related to that only. Why can't we have a uniform civil code in our country?
Sir,
Where is it enshrined, this doctrine? Civil code, uniform civil code?
Yes, sir. Sir, Article 44 of our Indian Constitution envisages that state should endeavor to have uniform civil code in India. But the major problem which lies ahead is that right now we don't have codification of even laws which are present in every religion. So first step should be codification of those laws, and then maybe consensus can be brought among different religions, and then only we can.
It has taken us a long time, since the constitution was framed and enacted.
Yes, sir, it has taken long time, but in the recent past there has been active steps taken towards it. So for example, Goa has already Portuguese civil code, and now even Uttarakhand government has envisaged that they are going to bring uniform civil code in India.
Okay. My last question, Abhishek, related to the foreign policy domain. How do you see India in the international domain in the next 5 years?
Sir, in the next 5 years...
Optimistically or pessimistically, both,
Yes, sir. Sir, in the next 5 years, I see a lot of potential for Indian diplomacy. So, for example, right now we are having strategic autonomy the decisions which we are taking are based on solely national interest of India. And right now, when India has become a chair of...
Give an example of what you said just now.
Sir, strategic autonomy has been portrayed when India abstained from voting against Russia in UNSC.
Okay.
So those were decisions which are based on totally India's interests. And right now, when India has become chair of G20, then it has huge potential to portray the superpower which is present in India. And in next 5 years, I believe that this can help India achieve higher goals.
Thank you, Gopal.
Abhishek, there is a lot of talk about conversion, religious conversion. People are saying from Hindu to Muslim, from Hindu to Christianity, and from Muslim to Hindu or Christianity to... What is your opinion about it? Sociologically, because it's your subject.
Yes. Sir, I believe in India, everyone has been given right to choose their religion under Article 25. So, if there is coercive form of conversion, then that shouldn't be promoted at all, and state should take active steps in that regard. But if the decisions which are taken are based on personal interest and they are ready with the decisions which they are taking, then in that regard they can opt for religious conversion.
But in conversion, there is no 99%, there is coercive or the forceful or the enticement is there or the... So as administrator, what step will you take?
Sir, the steps which could be taken right now is that first of all, targeting should be done. That as the administrator, I will look that what are the cases of coercive conversion taking place. Post that, I will try to find out that whether they are actually coercive in nature or not, and then later on monitoring can be done to ensure that further coercive conversion should not take place.
What about this Jammu Kashmir? People are saying the statehood should be given. The center still saying that the UT is the best option.
Sir, currently
What is the status?
Sir, currently Jammu Kashmir is a union territory, and so state is taking active steps.
2 union territories or 3 union territories or 1 union territory? Jammu and Kashmir, yeah, Jammu Kashmir separate union territory, Ladakh separate territory. What is the status?
So the current status is that Ladakh is a separate territory, separate union territory, and Jammu and Kashmir is one union territory. With legislature, Ladakh is not having legislature. So the center is taking active steps towards the development of Jammu and Kashmir right now. So statehood can be a possibility, but it shouldn't be immediate priority to consider right now, because once economic development takes place, then there will be more investment coming up, and then later on we can think about the statehood. So in that regard, I believe the steps are in the right direction.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Abhishek. So Telangana was the 29th state to be created, which was created. Now number is 28. 28 states are there. So what happened in the intervening period that now the states are 28?
Sir, post the abrogation of Article 370, the statehood of Jammu Kashmir was taken aback, and then it is because of that the number of states has.
So number is 28. Okay, UCC. Is there any state or union territory where UCC is already under implementation?
Sir, Goa has.
Though that is not exactly in the same form as other states want. That is different thing. Yeah, Goa. So some objectionable or you can say some controversial point in UCC. Can you recall, if at all you know about UCC, as it is in Goa? You are right. You have rightly said UCC already under implementation, but not exactly in the form in which other states want it to be. So from which source this civil code came?
Sir, from my limited reading, the civil code which is present in Goa is Portuguese civil code.
Yeah, that's right. Good enough. Now, UCC, you have already said that Uttarakhand is trying, and a committee has been formed for that. Okay. Is there any other state where the similar steps have been taken?
Sir, I'm not aware of it.
Okay,
right
there
now.
were bunch of petitions before the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court gave its decision related with UCC. So what exactly the matter was, and what was the decision of the Supreme Court?
Sir, I'm not exactly aware about the case.
Can you recall related with the constitution of the committee to look into this UCC? Related with that, was there any petition to stop that?
Sir, I'm not sure about
Anyway,
the
yes,
details.
it was, and Supreme Court said, no, we can't stop them. They can go ahead. And at present, we are not deciding about this UCC, whether it is correct or not. We are not going into that very aspect, but definitely they can go for that. Anyway, so Prayagraj, when the name of Prayagraj was changed to Allahabad.
Sir, the name of Prayagraj was changed to Allahabad in 1575 by Akbar.
Okay, so what does Allahabad mean?
Sir, Allahabad implies abode of God.
Okay, you are from Prayagraj. Have you seen Saraswati Koop? And why it is known as Saraswati Koop? Koop means kuan, well.
Sir, I have not seen Saraswati Koop, so
Okay, Can FIR, which is filed in the police station, be made public?
Sir, I'm not sure about this, but
2016 SC ruling.
sir,
Or can charge sheet filed by the investigating agency be made public?
sir, from my limited reading and understanding, I believe they can't be made public.
FIR can, but charge sheet filed by the investigating agency cannot.
Okay.
This is the decision of this matter was being heard and Supreme Court said like that.
Okay.
Okay, that this charge sheet cannot be equated with FIR, and charge sheet filed by investigating agency cannot be made public, and even under RTI you cannot ask for that. Okay, thank you.
You wait outside, Abhishek. We'll call you in a minute.
Thank you,
okay?
sir. Thank you.
Come. Please sit down.
Thank you.
So, how did your interview go, Abhishek here?
Sir, I believe not so good. I was not confident enough to answer many of the questions.
Now, why are you not confident?
Sir, I believe there was gap in knowledge part. So because of that, I was not so confident.
Nobody knows everything, so we need to learn all the time.
Yes, sir.
No, you did fairly well, I would say. The board has given you 60%, which is quite high, percentage wise, But I think you can reach up to 65, with some efforts. When is your interview?
Sir, not declared yet.
Not
The date
declared.
is
So
not-
you have time. So just a few, suggestions from our side. First of all, brush up your sociology, because that's your subject which you have taken. Although you had a mathematics background and you try to explain why you opted for sociology. If I would have been asked the question, I would have said scoring subject, simple one-line answer I would have given. For me, I would have said like that. Anyway, second, I think focus on DAF. What you have mentioned in the DAF, including the places where you studied, what subjects you studied, your background, questions will be on all that.
Yes.
And you come from Uttar Pradesh. So, it's a large state and there will be many questions on the state itself. So, be ready with your facts and figures about Uttar Pradesh. By the time you appear, as you said, you don't know, maybe in March or something, your interview will be slated.
When is the date?
Not yet.
Not
He
yet.
doesn't know. So, by then, you will have the economic survey, you will have the budget. So, please focus on that. Which newspaper you are reading? Economic newspaper?
Sir, no specific economic newspaper, but I'm reading the Hindu and Indian Express.
I suggest that you make one newspaper, either Hindu or whatever, Indian Express. Read an economic newspaper, say like Economic Times or Mint. I think read one of the two.
Sure, yes, sir.
That would give you a good economic analysis. So, and then, although I think your preference for Indian Foreign Service is not there, you said something that you want to serve in India,
Yes.
not abroad. So that's okay, fair enough. But there will be questions on international affairs. You should be aware of what is happening in our immediate neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
Or for that matter, what is happening in Ukraine, let's say. G20 we are going to have in India, G20. So there will be questions on that. So prepare yourself well. Whenever you read the newspaper, try to write down the points, pertaining to that subject. Be it Ukraine, for example, or G20. Every day you have something or other appearing on that. Also on our neighbors, Pakistan, for example, you may have read.
Yes, sir.
The Pakistan Prime Minister said something. We responded also. So keep track of all that, which will stand you in good stead at the time of interview. And if you have any questions for us, please do ask.
Sir, no specific questions.
One more thing I
Please,
would like
please.
to
Yes.
add. Because your interview date has not as yet been announced. So I believe by the time your interview is there, Parliament session, having discussed the budget, would be in session. So look into what is being discussed in the parliament and what is important nationally. So keep a track of that.
All the very best, Abhishek.
Thank you.
All good wishes.